welcome to WRPB and WRPB Studios. You guys who know me for a long time know that one phrase that I always say is use a professional. And I'll tell you how deep that goes prior to introducing my guest. You guys who know me know my wife is Canadian, and we had to go through the broken immigration system. And sometimes you need help. And the help you get is a professional. With me is Johanna Negron from
Immigration
Documents Solutions.
Yes.
And you are the founder and
lead paralegal.
paralegal.
Yes.
Okay, so I have to ask you this. Why did you get into this?
Well, first of all, because I love it.
Okay.
Second of all, because after working for many attorneys
Mm-hmm.
in the field, I decided to utilize my experience and do my own business.
And I'm going to guess that you probably work with attorneys
Yes.
because there's a ton of paperwork to do, and that takes it off their plate and gives it
Correct.
to an experienced person to do.
Exactly.
I got to ask you this. I have spoken to immigration attorneys, and they all believe the system is broken.
hmm
Is it broken? Is it a tough system to get through?
That's a tough question.
Okay.
I would say so. But, I mean, like anything else, nothing is perfect.
Right.
But there's always options, to, if someone wants to be here legally, to pursue that and to do it the right way.
And that's the way you should do it,
Exactly.
because I had to go through it with my wife. You guys should have to do it. It shouldn't be. It's not fair if you guys don't do it and I had to do it. So let me ask you this. It's very time consuming to do what you do.
It is.
Okay, so instead of an attorney having to meet somebody constantly, an attorney can call you and say, hey, I got Mary and Sam. I need their immigration paperwork done.
That's correct. And we can just prepare everything from start to finish. The attorney doesn't have to worry about, making sure that the details are in place, that everything is organized and sampled by the regulations of the Immigration Service. And at the end of the day, they just have to basically review everything, sign, and make sure that it's sent out to the Immigration Service.
How long are you doing this?
I've been doing this for 20 years, a little
Okay.
over 20 years.
How long did you open your company?
It's been open since 2014.
Okay, so you start and you're in an attorney's office as a paralegal, I guess,
hmm
and you watch all this go through. And what do you? I mean, like for me, I see things in my industry, and I say, like everybody, I could do it better or I could do it quicker because it's what I know.
hmm
I'm an expert. An attorney who does this, I mean, he's an expert at what he does, but I don't think he wants to take the time to fill out all these papers.
Exactly.
Okay, for what he gets paid per hour, some people won't never be able to afford it.
That is correct. And sometimes, whether it's a solo law firm or medium, large law firm, sometimes they have even people in-house, their personnel in-house, and the overload of work is too much to handle.
I get that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and the issue becomes bring on more people or outsource the work.
Exactly.
And you never know when you have 2 jobs and your office can handle it, or you have 20 jobs and your office can't handle it, so then you sub out the work
Mm-hmm.
to a professional, but then you might go back down to having 2. So now you've hired people. What do you do with them? Do you lay them off? I mean, that's not right.
Correct.
Okay, so I think the service that you offer
Mm-hmm.
is really an asset to an attorney firm.
That's correct.
Okay, just to have you in the Rolodex would be like, you know what? All of a sudden this week we got busy with immigration stuff. You know what? Let's go, Joanna, and let's give her some work to do. And that serves a couple of purposes.
Mm-hmm.
One is it takes the pressure off of their office.
Correct.
2 is it keeps you in business,
Mm-hmm.
which is good because we're all here to work together and keep it. Either we all work together and make it, or we work separately and nobody makes it.
Mm-hmm.
And 3, it probably will cut the cost of the person going through the service by some amount of money. And I don't know the numbers. I don't want to say that. I know that for you, the tedious work of what you do is all this paperwork.
Correct. And we actually, it's not only myself, we have a team of paralegals in house. We're 3 paralegals in house and 2 other abroad. And not abroad, sorry, I should say remotely.
Okay.
And then by attorneys hiring us, basically they don't have to worry about paying employees benefits or, you know, all these expenses. Instead, they can increase their productivity, you know, while also increasing their revenue. So that's a major thing for attorneys, you know.
Now I know we spoke about this in the green room because I went through the system, so I have a little knowledge, and a little knowledge is usually dangerous. But you started this not up in the Port St. Lucie area. Where did you start?
Exactly. We started down in Miramar, in the Miami area, more or less. And over a year ago, we moved to Port St. Lucie, and it's been great. We're expanding up here.
And the reason I brought that up is because when my wife was married to her first husband and they were trying to get immigration status in Indiana, they were like in the system for 17 years and never got it. There are areas that know this better than others, okay, because they do many of them. Miami, where you were in that area, is a hub for people coming in.
Yes.
So, I mean, I could probably guess that you've done hundreds,
Exactly.
okay? And I know from using somebody, once we got married, I used somebody down south, and it went too smooth because we finished it before her 2 years of being married. So she got a temporary, okay? So it went really too smooth. So in like 19 months, she went from 17 years of trying to get status to now having status.
Excellent.
Okay? That, to me, shows the difference of using somebody who's a professional and knows it than just using someone. I don't know that you can find a great immigration attorney in the Midwest. I don't know that people come from wherever and say, yeah, I think I'm going to end up in the Midwest. Let me find an immigration attorney there. I don't think they do many. So it goes by experience. It goes by time. I've done 40,000 interviews. So
Wow.
I get it. I've been there. And when it comes to interviewing you, it's kind of cool because I've been through the system. So I already know a little bit, but I learn every time. For you, what does so attorney calls you. What should the attorney have ready for you when he brings you on board?
Well, first of all, of course, we need to know what type of case you need help with. We basically ask you for all the details, the background of that case, all the supporting evidence, and then we take on doing all of that. You know, we prepare everything from start to finish.
Is it different if people come from different areas? Like if someone comes from Cuba as compared to someone who comes from Canada?
Well, it all depends on the type of case, and some documents are basics, like the civil documents, for example, birth certificate, marriage, divorce, etc. But it's not only that. It all depends, for example, if it's a family-based case, if it's an employment-based case, an investor's visa case, you know, it depends. So based on the type of case that it is, we will require a list of documents accordingly.
Do you get like cases where it's the whole family moving from whatever, Cuba or wherever, and they all get status, correct?
Correct. That is correct.
So they all have to fill out the paperwork. What about kids under 18?
Yeah, kids under 18 as well. They're called derivative relatives.
Okay, so because what goes through my mind now is I know the system is broken, and it's like, all right, so here comes a husband and wife and 2 kids, and everybody goes through but the one kid, okay? And do you leave that kid wherever he is? I mean, does that ever happen, something like that?
I mean, anything could happen, you know, but at the end of the day, the work that we do is actually supervised by the attorney who is in charge of the case.
Right.
So what we do is, of course, we continue in communication with the attorney, and whatever the strategy of the case is taken, you know, by that attorney, we just follow that. Because at the end of the day, we cannot give legal advice. So we leave that for the attorneys to do.
But I mean, you, I hate to say this way, but you've done so many,
Yes,
and you have such a deep knowledge of experience that you could probably look at a case and say, this is going to be easy, this is going to be difficult.
of course.
Okay?
Yes,
If you go to the hospital, okay, it's the nurses that are the important ones. Okay, you might think the doctor, but it's really the nurses, it's the supporting staff that makes a company run.
exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So to have someone with your kind of experience that they can outsource to is like a major, major benefit. Okay, so I'm going to ask you something, put you on the spot. Someone comes
We're
in
not doing this again.
from another country and marries someone from the States. Does that make it easier first?
Mhm.
That makes it easier if you marry an American. I guess.
Correct. Yeah.
What's the time frame from the time somebody gets in this to be in the system to be to get their status to them getting their status? Is there like kind of a range?
Yeah. Well, right now it's taking for the interview alone about a year.
That's the final interview.
The final interview is, or the initial interview, they call it,
Okay,
about a year. But then again, that may change. You know.
that's the scary part. that interview piece was the scary part for me, and it was a breeze. You know, so I kind of get it. We're running to the top of our time. How do people find you? You have a phone number?
Of course. You can find us at, call us at 1-800-437-7948 or 954-895-7546.
Okay, you have a website. I hope.
Of course.
Okay.
It's immigration, D as in document, ssnsolutions.com.
Okay, so I have one more question to ask you.
Of course.
You've been in this a long time. Have you seen a lot of changes in the system in the amount of years you've been in it?
In the immigration system or
Um,
in general?
No, in the immigration system.
Of course. I mean, things change very frequently.
Did the technology changing help you? Does it make it a little easier for you?
Yes, actually, it is easier for us. I mean, technology is always good. It has sometimes,
Yeah,
background.
not everybody's going to agree with that. Okay, the internet's a blessing and a curse. Believe me when I tell you.
Exactly.
Okay, so one more time, name of the firm,
Immigration Document Solutions,
website,
immigrationds.com,
okay, and phone number.
and phone number is 800-437-7948 or 954-895-7546.
And I got to end this with always use a professional. And for you attorneys out there that do immigration, how much nicer would it be not to have to bring extra people on board, okay, when you can outsource work to a professional? Everybody have a great day, and we'll be right back. Thank you.